ladies and gentlemen, I guess it's lady and gentlemen, good morning. I'm Dr. Evan Bloomer, the project director for the Appalachian Ohio Solar Jobs Network, which is a coalition of organizations and individuals who've joined forces to advance the job creation and economic development opportunity presented by AEP Ohio's plan to build 400 megawatts of solar power generation in the Appalachian region of Ohio. Later this morning, the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio will hold the first public hearing in a series of cases aimed at demonstrating the need for new renewable energy to be built in Ohio, including 2 solar projects totaling 400 megawatts of power and to be located in Highland County. As a first step in this process, we've gathered a number of leading voices from our state, and particularly from the Appalachian region of the state, who strongly support the project and want to urge the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio to support and approve these cases. The proposed projects represent the largest solar project in the state's history and approximately equals the total solar development in all of Ohio's contiguous states. The project is expected to create 150 sustainable manufacturing jobs, providing a strong foothold in the region for the growing renewable energy industry. And this is in addition to the roughly 4,000 jobs that will be created or sustained through the construction of the projects. We believe that the economic development resulting from these projects will ensure that the Appalachian region of our state has access to competitively priced renewable energy and remains at the forefront of America's energy industry. In their submissions for these cases, AEP has shared the results of extensive customer surveys and modeling exercises aimed at understanding the project economics. What sticks out as notable to me are 2 key points. 1, consumers from all economic levels strongly support the need to diversify our energy mix, and they desire the inclusion of significant amounts of renewable energy. Secondly, in the 1,000 different runs of the economic models that AEP has run, these solar energy projects save money for consumers 100% of the time. So let me be clear, this is a large-scale solar project that is going to save money for the consumers. I'd like to point out that this will all be done with an explicit focus on employing military veterans and utility workers who've been displaced by the closure of coal generation facilities in the region. Today, I'm going to sort of be the master of ceremonies for our process. We have several speakers who would like to briefly share their perspectives on how this project will benefit the people of Ohio, and particularly struggling regions of the state. We'd like to ask that you hold your questions until the end, and all speakers will be available for your questions, and I'll just moderate that. Also, we plan to wrap this up in 30 minutes total to allow folks adequate time to get over to the Public Utilities Commission for the public hearing, which begins at 10 a.m. Anybody who needs directions to get over to the Public Utilities Commission, please see myself or Dan, and we will either guide you over there or walk over there with you. Our first speaker is Mr. Alan Stockmeister. Alan is a prominent Ohio business and community leader based in Jackson, Ohio. Alan is the chair of the Southeastern Ohio Economic Initiative. He is a trustee of The Ohio State University. He is a trustee of the Foundation for Appalachian Ohio, and for me, most importantly, is the past Grand Commodore of the Association of Ohio Commodores, an organization that was established to advance the economic goals of the state of Ohio, specifically. Alan will discuss the project from the Appalachian Ohio perspective. Alan?
Good morning, everyone. My name's Alan Stockmeister, and I have been a lifelong resident of Jackson County. As you all know, Jackson is in southeastern Ohio and is in the area or region called Appalachia, Ohio. In fact, over 1/3 of our counties in Ohio are in the Appalachian area, and that makes 32 counties overall. In development and infrastructure terms, Appalachia is widely recognized and designated as a distressed and high-risk region. I am second generation, and my son, who's in the back audience here, is third generation of a family that has been involved in many business ventures, developing and creating jobs in the Appalachia, Ohio area. For over 72 years, we have put our belts on the line to be successful, which we also define success not just in dollar terms, but as in creating jobs for our friends, neighbors, and residents of southeastern Ohio. I have always followed the motto of another former son of Jackson County, four-term Governor James A. Rhodes, whose mission in life was jobs, jobs, jobs. As a member and trustee of the Foundation for Appalachia, Ohio, and as chair of the Southeastern Ohio Economic Initiative Group that was created by John Kasich to be a partner similar to what the Columbus Partnership is here in Columbus, we are in Appalachia. I'm here today to represent this and support the Appalachia Ohio Solar Jobs Network, to advocate for Appalachia. Our solar project is critical to the future of our community. This solar project, the economic development resulting from the solar project, will ensure that the region has access to competitively priced solar energy and that it will remain at the forefront of the American energy industry. With the Ohio unemployment rates in the other two-thirds of the state running as low as 2.7%, averaging 4.3%, the Appalachia counties are still at 6.5% as an average. And several of them, well, we peg at 6.5, and several of them are over 6%. 5 of these counties in particular. A report of the ARC stated that the poverty rate in Appalachia, Ohio was 17.6. Philanthropy that I'm involved with the Appalachia Foundation is 10 times less in the Appalachia counties than it is in any of the other regions of Ohio. Going back to poverty, it is measured by jobs. I mean, it's a pretty simple calculation. Poverty, the more jobs, the less poverty. It's just that simple. I can go on and on. Things like, even in today's world where everyone has internet and broadband, in our Appalachia counties, we still, 50% of our residents still don't have broadband. My son lives right outside of Jackson, 4 miles, and has no broadband. Just think and dream that this project is 150 sustainable manufacturing jobs in Appalachia, Ohio. In addition to that, 4,000 jobs to be created and sustained through construction for our building trades, for our independent contractors, whomever. We all get to enjoy better living, better prosperity, better, just get us a step forward. It's an investment in southeastern Ohio and Appalachia that we haven't seen in years. I remember in the 50s when the atomic energy plant came to Piketon. My God, what a blessing. Well, that's no longer there. So, you know, that it's in a closure mode. We need this project. I just hope that this renewable energy, this project will sustain southeastern Ohio to the future. And it's a tremendous project for Appalachia. It's a real winner. It will be in the hands of the PUCO to say, yes, let's do it, and let's encourage them to move forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan. I know personally that Alan is one of the most respected voices in the region, and we really thank you for being here this morning. Our next speaker is Chris Allwine. Chris is the Executive Director of Ohio Partners for Affordable Energy. Chris is going to discuss the project from a consumer perspective with a particular focus on low-income consumers and other vulnerable communities. Chris?
Thank you, Evan, and good morning, all. As the Executive Director of Ohio Partners for Affordable Energy, or OPE, I am proud to be a part of the Appalachian Ohio Solar Jobs Network, and OPE is grateful to be a part of this important presentation. OPE consists of approximately 60 member agencies, including several community action agencies and nonprofits providing services for low-income family households in all 88 counties in the great state of Ohio. These services include direct bill assistance, home repair, heating unit replacement, and energy efficient retrofits like wall and attic insulation, or as we call it in our world, weatherization. OPE and its member agencies have been focused on energy issues for decades. As we continue to work with vulnerable populations to reduce energy burdens and household utility bills, we know that clean energy must be a part of the conversation as we strive to forward the vision of a clean and healthy energy future for Ohio and Ohioans. OPE and its member agencies have been successful at providing weatherization and energy efficiency services, and we know that now is the time to take a look at clean energy, note its obvious benefits, and understand that renewable projects will positively impact not just low-income customers, but all Ohio energy consumers for the next generation. There are several benefits to be derived from this proposal. First and foremost, as Evan pointed out, it saves money. Conservative estimates provided by AEP demonstrate that customers will save $218 million over the life of the project, compared to market forecasts for that same 20-year period. We know this because AEP ran 1,000, that's a 1 with 3 zeros after it, different scenarios to evaluate potential costs and benefits of such a project. Solar energy derived from Ohio sunshine proved to save money 100% of the time. That is a pretty good batting average. And let's not forget that customers want clean energy. An independent survey indicates that more than 85% of residential customers and almost 75% of small commercial and industrial customers stated that AEP making greater use of renewables was moderately to very important. In other words, AEP is simply trying to give customers what they want. And Ohioans want clean energy generated right here in Ohio. It's time to turn the corner. Ohio has always been a leader in science and industry and technology, and that includes energy generation. Ohio should continue to be at the forefront of clean energy development. Ohioans now and in the future, especially those in Appalachia, will be grateful for our efforts. And I'd also like to point out that the Ohio Association of Community Action Agencies supports this effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. We're going to keep things moving. Our next speaker is Mark Johnson. Mark is the business manager for the Tri-State Building and Trades Council, which represents construction trades in 33 Appalachian counties in Ohio, West Virginia, and Kentucky. Mark's going to discuss the project from the jobs perspective, particularly as it relates to the building and construction trades. Mark?
Good morning. I come here to echo basically what Alan Stockmeister had to say as far as Appalachia. I've lived the demise of the new economy in Appalachia. I grew up near Portsmouth, Ohio. I'm very proud to be from Portsmouth, Ohio, but most of my career as a building tradesperson was right here in downtown Columbus. And you look around these high-rise buildings, I worked on just about every one that was built since 1983. But what I'm here for is to talk about our people. I represent 33 counties in Appalachia. My office is in Ashland, Kentucky. That's the heart of Appalachia. I go from Logan, Ohio to Logan, West Virginia, Hazard, Kentucky to Hillsborough. That's the region I cover. Comes across Chillicothe and so forth. I reside in Ohio, but I see probably more of the demise of the Appalachians than probably anybody in this room. You go down in Logan, West Virginia, or Gilbert, Williamson, Paintsville, Salyersville, Kentucky, look those people in the eye. Those people are hurting, and they're hurting because of the demise of the coal industry. And people have forgotten Appalachia, and this is one bright spot that I see. And when I first took this job in 2009, we had 7 coal-fired powerhouses operating, and today I've got 3 left burning coal. Those facilities provided millions of man-hours for our people. We got some crafts like the Boilermakers that's probably going to be struggling for their existence. And but anyway, getting back to this project, this is a veterans preference project. For most people, it's probably not very well served. Most people have no clue that every building trades project is a veteran preference project. We have an organization called Helmets to Hard Hats, which is a direct entry into any building trades apprenticeship training fund. The test is if you got a DD-214 in your pocket, and you serve your country, we will roll out the red carpet for any veteran that comes our way. Not just for this project, any project. So if you know a veteran that wants to be in the construction trades, helmetstohardhats.org. That's where you sign up at. We got training director standing back there from the electricians. This job has got very heavily intense electricians, got several representatives here from other crafts, and we need this project. I've been discussing this project for months with American Electric Power, the customer that's going to utilize this power. They're going to utilize our members to build this, and we need the jobs. I've got 16,000 active members, and across America, construction is booming. They can't get enough of our people. Out of the 16,000 active members from our region, I would lay bet that over 8,000 of them are sleeping in hotels at night because there's simply Appalachia is a forgotten land, and we need help. We need people to listen to us, and we need this project. And that completes.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Our next scheduled speaker was John Hemmings, who is the Executive Director of the Ohio Valley Regional Development Commission. OVRDC is the local development district serving the entire project footprint, from the potential manufacturing sites in Lawrence and Pike County through to the proposed generation facilities in Highland County. John has asked me to share his apologies for an unavoidable last-minute cancellation, and he's asked that I share his personal support for the project and his agency's commitment to assist in advancing the project, creating jobs, and fostering broad economic development throughout the Appalachian region. Again, John apologizes for not being able to join us this morning. Our next speaker is Mr. Randy Druyer. Randy is the treasurer of Bright Local Schools, located in Maurystown, Ohio, which is in the heart of Highland County and one of the 2 school districts impacted by the proposed solar generation facilities. Randy is here to discuss the project from a local perspective and particularly the project's potential impact on school funding. Randy?
Good morning. How come these things look a little too low here? Long distance glasses on. On behalf of Bright Local School District, I'd like to express my appreciation to the Appalachian Ohio Solar Jobs Network and the opportunity to participate in this press conference and giving us a voice in the process. As Evan mentioned, Bright Local School District is a small district in southern Highland County. We have 700 students spread over 120 square miles. The real estate valuation in our district consists of less than 1% commercial real property, the rest being split equally between residential and agricultural land. This is not an unusual situation for Appalachian districts, including the other district that these projects impact in my area. I can tell you we work very hard to be good stewards of the taxpayers' money. Due to our limited tax base, every day consists of making decisions that involve trade-offs between vital educational services. For example, do we replace aging buses or aging roofs, or we hire necessary staff? In our district, 1 mil levied tax only produces about $95,000 in revenue. On average, in Ohio school districts, one levy will generate about $400,000. So our ability to raise local money is quite limited. And needless to say, we watch every penny. We look for every opportunity to save money and generate additional revenue. We view these projects as a way to future-proof our district by providing a revenue stream that is not tied to agricultural or residential property values. In addition to the direct impact on the district, the economic development potential is a huge to the area where employment opportunities are very limited. The presence of these projects are a symbol of hope and progress in an area of the state which has seen very little. There are many good reasons to support these solar projects, several of which you've heard about already. The bottom line for the Bright Local School District is that these projects have the potential to provide financial security without putting additional pressure on local taxpayers and the state budget. Again, I'd like to express our appreciation for the opportunity to be here and to have a voice in the process. and really bring our support to these activities to bring vital economic development to Appalachia, Ohio generally, and to our community specifically. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. And I'd like to just point out that the other local school district impacted by the project will be the Lynchburg local schools. And Randy was here to speak for sort of the general perspective. Our next speaker is Matt Evans. Matt is the president of the Boych Companies and is another passionate advocate for Appalachian, Ohio. Matt is a leading voice in Ohio's energy conversation across the state and is here to discuss the project from a broad energy industry perspective. Matt?
Hi, good morning. I am Matt Evans, president of the Boych Companies. For those of you that don't know, we've been in the coal business for several decades, in Ohio, Appalachia, and even out west. I'm here because I'm excited for Appalachian, Ohio. It is a part of this country that we are deeply connected with, that we deeply care about, and we're also deeply concerned for. I'm happy because I believe there is good news on the horizon with this project. Good news for the families of southern and southeast Ohio. Good news that frankly they haven't had much of in the last several decades. A part of the state that's had plant closures, power plant closures, mine closures. A part of the state that's devastated, amongst others, by the opioid issue. And I believe, frankly, that Columbus has ignored this part of the state for the last several years. And I think this is an opportunity, starting now, to give some good news to Appalachia. This project is just one step in the right direction for economic development in this part of the state. A part of the state, like I said, that we are very connected to, that we've mined in. But we are no longer there anymore because of the market, because of economics. I'm happy that we have diversity on this issue. People will often hear me talk about diversity of fuels for this state moving forward. Here I'm standing as a coal guy. Obviously, I'm for coal. I'm also for nuclear power. I'm also for gas-fired generation. I'm also for green energy. And I mean what I say when it comes to diversity. I'm also proud to be standing here because we have a very diverse group of support for this project. Whether it's the trades, the local officials, economic development officials, the environmental groups. This is how it's supposed to be done in the state of Ohio, and frankly, everywhere else. Now, Dan Sawmiller and I don't agree on much. We agree on drinking beer and, having a good time. Sometimes either we're drinking beer or we're getting in fistfights with each other because we are on very different ends of the spectrum. But that points out what is going on here. This project is important. I can't state that enough, and I certainly would recommend that the PUCO moves forward with this project, and that it comes to fruition in the very near future. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. We appreciate your support, as always. And our final speaker is Dan Sawmiller, I guess Matt's brawling buddy. Dan is the Energy Policy Director for the Natural Resources Defense Council in Ohio, and also is a combat veteran, having served our country in Iraq. Dan's another leading voice in the state's energy discussion, and he's here to share some of the environmental perspectives of the project, as well as what the project will mean to Ohio's military veterans. Dan?
Thank you, Evan. And Matt, I hope you were listening to those combat veteran credentials. You don't want a fist fight over here. Just kidding. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dan Sawmiller. As Evan said, I'm the Energy Policy Director for the Natural Resources Defense Council here in the state of Ohio. I was born in Northwest Ohio and served in the Ohio Army National Guard for a time, including one tour of duty in Iraq that Evan had mentioned. NRDC is an environmental nonprofit with over 10,000 members in the state of Ohio that advocates for a clean, renewable energy economy while ensuring that Ohio's communities reap the economic, public health, and environmental benefits of those projects. My work on this project has been squarely focused on bringing the economic benefits of solar energy production to Appalachian, Ohio, while ensuring that Ohio's electricity customers benefit from the project's development. I'm honored and a little humbled to be on this press event today with such a remarkable set of state leaders representing incredibly diverse interest to show our support for the largest renewable energy commitment in the state's history. It seems difficult today for us to reach across our political and ideological divides, but the focus on providing an opportunity to an area in our state in so much need has allowed us to bridge those gaps, and I have to admit it feels pretty good to be able to do that. You know, it really hits me hard listening to what Alan had to say, kicking us off this morning about what's really going on in Appalachia, and Matt's comments about, you know, are we really paying attention? Are we really doing something for these people? And to hear Mark talk about the building trades and the focus that they put on veterans, there's a lot of feel good in the room here today. And I think it's encouraging both for the PUCO in considering this project, but also for all of us to think about how to move forward in the state of Ohio when we think about our energy policy. For years, Ohioans from all across the state have been voicing their support for new renewable energy projects to be built here in Ohio. Thousands and thousands of comments have been filed with the Public Utility Commission in the last few years alone. And shortly, I'll be joining, along with a lot of you, what I expect to be a large amount of electricity customers at the public hearing at the Public Utility Commission of Ohio, where I think we expect, once again, they're going to voice their support for this renewable energy vision. And I encourage everybody in this room to join us as we head over there. Since 2010, Ohio has announced or retired more than 16 gigawatts of coal-fired power plants. That's more than any other state in the country. Much of this generation has already ceased operating, like the two plants, the Killen and Stewart stations in Adams County, just south of where these projects are slated to be built. This is leaving several areas, as you've heard today, in need of new economic opportunities, and it highlights the need to diversify our energy supply. Projects like this one can put Ohio in a leading position as the Midwest continues to move toward a new energy economy and as new businesses increasingly demand renewable energy when deciding where to locate. To achieve this vision, it's not lost on me that we are sitting on the shoulders of miners and coal-fired power plant workers to achieve what we've laid out. Appalachian, Ohio, with its legacy of being an energy producer and being miners of almost everything, has always answered the call of our nation when they were needed, similar to our military veterans when they're called. As a combat veteran myself, I'm pleased with the commitment in this project to put military veterans at the front of the line for the jobs, and there's no other place in this country that deserves the benefits like that projects like this can bring into their communities. NRDC is proud to offer its support and proud to be a member of the Solar Jobs Network. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. And other than some wrap-up comments, 8 speakers in 30 minutes, on time, not bad. Thank you, everybody. So as you've hopefully heard, our comments today represent a broad array of perspectives, and we hope that we've shared some compelling thoughts on the need for this project and how it will positively impact the people of Appalachian, Ohio, and the state of Ohio overall. We hope that you will join us through your various outlets in urging the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio to approve these projects and take a major step forward in advancing the new energy economy in Appalachian, Ohio, and Ohio overall. Thank you very much for joining us today. We are here for your questions.